Hello everyone, and welcome back to yoga with me, Allyssa. Today's yoga is going to be focusing on awakening the body. I'm really going to have us move at a nice flowing pace today. We're going to keep moving, we're going to stay nice and warm. And another thing that we're going to focus on today is going to be balance. So our word today is going to be balance. We're going to focus on it in our practice, and at the end maybe talk about it a little bit more and how we can focus on that as well outside of our yoga practice. All right, so let's get started. Today I'm going to have you guys start in a tall position. We're going to be standing today, and we're going to start in our tree pose. So what I'd like you to do is bring your hands right over your heart. We're going to stay here for a moment. Really start thinking about the intention of our practice today, keeping balance in mind. Then we're going to open our eyes if we had them closed, and we're going to bring one foot right up next to our ankle. Now we're slowly going to bring that up, creeping up next to our calves, staying nice and balanced. Now if you're comfortable here, you can stay here. The other option would be to take that leg and bring it up a little bit higher over the knee. For me, that's a little bit difficult, so I'm going to stay here. The only place I wouldn't like you guys to be is right over our knee. So try to stay either below or above the knee, wherever you're comfortable. Some days we may feel more flexible than others. So really feel out your practice for today. Stay here, focus on our breathing. Bring our arms nice and high above our head, reaching towards the sky. And really here, focusing on balance, focusing on our insides, our core, keeping everything here just comfortable and tight. And slowly bringing that leg down, staying with our arms nice and high, maybe looking up to the sky. Good. And coming back into our tree pose on the other side, slowly bringing that foot up to a comfortable position here, and really opening up here, feeling a stretch. And already we are focusing on balance, our focus for today. Now today may be a little bit more challenging, especially with this balance aspect. So do as much as you can, do as much as you feel is comfortable for your practice today. Good, and foot comes down, arms come down as well. All right, I'm gonna have you guys bring your legs and your toes nice and close together. Arms are gonna come up this time in front of us on an angle. I'm gonna have us sit into a chair position. Now I'm gonna show you from the side. Naturally, as I come down, I'm gonna feel my butt want to really shoot out. What you wanna do is really tuck in here. Always focusing on protecting our back and using our core, and then I can sink lower into my chair position. We're gonna hold this, and then we're gonna come down. So arms come down, back to standing. And we're slowly gonna go back into our tree pose, our chair pose. Here, hold for a few seconds and come down. Again, coming back up one more time. Sitting here, focusing on that core. And come back up. Good. Now we're going to go into our regular mountain position. Legs can be naturally spread apart. All right, we're gonna bring our hands nice and high above our head, keeping everything nice and tight here, not overarching. We're gonna sway to our right side. And now back over to our left. Good. Coming back to center, letting those arms come down. One more time, breathing up and then bringing the arms back down. Good. All right. Now from here, we're going to go into our first warrior pose. So what I'm going to have us do is I'm going to have you bring one leg out a little bit. Other foot is going to turn towards the side. Now you can go as wide as is comfortable for you. For me, this is a nice in-between position. Then from here, bring those arms up. Palms are facing down. And today we're going to look towards our front hand and we're going to lean into it. Finding our center here. Left arm's going to come down, right arm comes to the sky. Eyes up, looking towards the sky. Maybe we turn our arm around, facing our wrist towards us. And coming back into our warrior pose. Good, now come up from that lunge position, bringing our feet together. I'm going to show you from this side angle. We're going to go into a warrior three. Now, if you're uncomfortable with warrior three, which includes a lot of balance, you can always stick in warrior one that we were just in. But I'm going to have us try it out. So, feet are nice and close together. I'm going to have us bring our one foot back. Other leg is staying nice and straight, maybe with a little bit of a bend. All right, and then slowly, I'm going to teeter my chest forward and bring my foot behind me. Now, like you can just see, I came down. We're all working on our balance today, so slowly, if you're able to get into that position, the next step is to bring our arms forward and open up our chest. All right, so this morning my balance is a little off, but you guys work in that position. If you need to come down at any time, you can. Good. Now, if you did one side, we're now going to work on the other side. If you're in warrior one pose, you can now switch to the other side for your warrior one. All right, so slowly, with our breathing, coming down and focusing on balance on the other side. Good, you can walk it out here. Breathe, maybe opening up our chest. Good. Now we're going to come down, folding over, placing our hands to the floor, feet slowly coming back into a high plank. Stay here, find your center. And then I'm going to have you slowly walk your hands back in to standing at the end of your mat. I'm going to turn to show you. We're We are now going to widen up our stance. So we're going to get into a little bit of a wide sumo stance. So bring one foot out and then the other. Get into a nice wide position for you. Might be a little bit wider than where you would normally go into a squat. For me, I like to get extra wide. Depending on where you are flexibility wise, that's going to change as well. So however you're feeling today, some days we're going to, like I said, feel more flexible than others. So go where you feel comfortable. All right, we're in this wide position. We're going to reach up towards the heavens and come back down. And we're going to fold over here. Now, if you feel flexible enough and you feel comfortable and you want to try it today, we're going to walk our fingers through our legs. I'm going to turn my wrists and touch the floor, pull myself here to feel a big stretch. Stay here and breathe. Maybe walk the hands in and out, feel a little bit of a stretch. Good. Now slowly, one piece of our spine at a time, we're going to bring our body back up. Again, finding a comfortable sumo position for us here. We're going to bring our hands together right over our chest. Good, and from here, we're going to go into a little bit of a sumo squat. So whatever sumo position you're comfortable in, if you have to adjust your toes, adjust your toes. Keeping a nice flat back, we're going to sink here into a squat. However, to what point you're comfortable. And then once we've found our position here, I want us to lean one side, really focusing on keeping everything in here and our core nice and tight, lifting that left elbow to the sky and looking up. Coming up to center, still in that sumo squat position. And coming to the other side, other elbow goes towards the sky. Good, and hold here one last time. Get in a couple of breaths. Good, and come up to standing. Maybe shake out those legs a little bit. I'm sure you're feeling them. I definitely am. All right, and from here, I'm gonna walk my feet in just a little bit, and then I'm gonna sink back into a squat. And slowly, with my hands over my heart, trying to keep a nice high chest here, I'm gonna slowly sink into a regular squat here. So you can walk the feet in and sink into a squat here. Right now my heels are a little off the ground, that's okay. We're coming into more of a frog pose, really focusing on just opening up here. From here, I'm going to turn from you guys. We are going to come down to a seated position, so slowly bringing one hand behind and the legs down into our seat. All right, you guys can come down. We're gonna lay our back nice and flat onto the floor. All right, from here, bringing the legs into our chest. And for one last time today, we're really gonna focus on balance. So this time we're gonna get a little bit inverted, all right? So where you're comfortable, I'm gonna have you come up, and with a little bit of momentum here, I'm gonna bring my legs up and I'm going to lift myself off of the ground. So I'm gonna place my hands right behind my back. Getting in this tabletop position, my hands are a little bit above my butt, right where my back is. And then I'm going to swing up. Now, if you're not comfortable in this position, I'm going to have you stay laying flat on the ground, really just focusing on your core. If you're here with me, you may feel a little strain in your breathing. Try to control that. Keeping our core nice and tight. And knowing that the feet may not be straight up. We may be in more of this hollow position. That is okay. From here, I'm going to let my legs fold over, and you can too, wherever you're comfortable. Supporting my hips here with my hands, bringing my feet overhead. And from here, slowly letting ourselves unravel and unwind, coming back flat to the ground. Whew. Being in an inverted position a lot of times can feel really good, but it can also be very challenging. So always be mindful of where you feel at your practice each day. Good. Coming up, we're going to bring our chest up and we're going to get ready for a little stretch to send us off today. I'm going to have us bring our hands up to the mat, swinging our legs around. From here, getting back into a tabletop position. All right, and then from here, as another focus of our day, we're going to be again in a wide stance with our hips. So I'm going to have you bring your hips out a little bit wider, almost like we're going to slip into a child's pose, a wide child's pose, should I say. And from here, I'm going to have us come down to our elbows. Now, you can stay here if you're able to. You can continue to stretch out wide. And we're almost going to come flat to the floor, really feeling a stretch right on the inside here of our thighs and near our groin area as well. Feel a big stretch. Now, if you feel any pain here or any pulling, I want you to pull back and come up a little bit higher. But otherwise, you can sink into this position, letting ourselves really breathe here towards the end of our practice. Good, walking the hands back up. And then from here, slowly bringing the legs in. You guys can come into a pretzel position with me. From here, placing your hands right over your knees or right over your heart, wherever is most comfortable for you. Take a second to close the eyes, just breathe. Ending thoughts for today's practice. Really focus this week on balance, and not only in your yoga practice, but outside of our practice, in our life, we all need a little bit of balance. Find a schedule that balances your self-care as well as all the other things that you really need to do in a day. Sometimes we see self-care as something that's not necessarily a necessity. Something I'd love to see us change, especially during this time, even if it's just taking this 20 minutes, half hour to do something for ourselves and getting a little bit of self-care in there. Because when we are better taking care of ourselves, we can take care of others as well better. So find our balance in every part of our life. I hope you all are safe and are being well, and I will see you in our next yoga practice. Thank you.